Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
For my 400th episode, I ask my friends to say something about the show. It's good to have friends.
Good day to you, Mr. Bledsoe. This is Dr. Roedell. It would seem that congratulations are in order. 400 episodes. My. The big 400. And so much time you must have put into it. The internet informs me that the average 45-minute podcast episode takes approximately 4 to 5 hours to produce. Now, given the amount of time you spend beating Gavin about the head and body between segments, I'll assume that your prep time is closer to the 5-hour mark. Now, this would mean that for 400 episodes, you've spent 2,000 hours producing them. That's a lot of hours. In fact, it got me to thinking, what were your opportunity costs? Or, in other words, what might you have accomplished with those 2,000 hours if you had not done this podcast? So, I did a modicum of research and have prepared a list, in no particular order, of 22 things you might have gotten done. Without further preamble, therefore, here are those 22, doubtless less valuable, potential uses of your precious time. 1. Read Moby Dick, 7 hours.
What's up, Dave? Jeremy here from Seltzer Kings. Congratulations on 400 episodes. Wow, what an accomplishment. I have podcasts that only have 3 or 6, and I just gave up. So, congratulations. You're a titan among men, and here's to 400 more.
2. Read Infinite Jest, 27 hours.
Hey, buddy. I don't know who's more pathetic. You for doing 400 of those stupid shows, or me for listening to all 400 of those stupid shows. Stupid shows and stupid Gavin. What's even more stupid is I was suckered into doing a podcast with you. No, I'm just kidding, man. I love the show. I love you. Congrats on 400. Keep up the great work, brother. We love it here in Arizona.
3. Watch all of Stanley Kubrick's feature-length films from Fear and Desire, 1952, to Eyes Wide Shut, 1999. Also 27 hours.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
This is Sean Crespo.
And Carol Hartsell. We're so excited for you. What an accomplishment.
Big 400.
400.
Yeah, it's almost, yeah.
I, have listened to
zero of them.
None of them.
Which is also an accomplishment. So, congratulations to us.
On us missing 400 episodes.
We're not podcast people, man.
I've never listened to one. I didn't even listen to the one we did.
Yeah, and thank you for never pushing it on us. That's really a class move.
You're a solid guy.
Yeah, you're a solid guy, and we know you're going places like to number 450.
Or maybe even just 401.
Or 401. Maybe this is where you burn out. But great stuff. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Onward and somewhere. Right, Carol?
Talkies.
Yeah, the future. All right, bye.
4. Learn French, 580 hours. 5. Learn Urdu, 700 hours.
Well, here I am, roasting the 400th episode of What the Hell Were You Thinking, a podcast that I've never listened to before. To be honest, I'm not even sure why I'm here, but I'm guessing it's because the host ran out of friends who were willing to pretend to care about this show. From what I gather, the concept of the show is to explore the questionable decisions made by guests in their lives, but judging by the fact that it's made it to 400 episodes, I'm guessing the host is running out of guests with actual interesting stories to tell. I mean, how many times can you hear about someone getting drunk and doing something stupid before it starts to get old? But hey, at least the host is consistent in their lack of originality. The title of the show alone is a tired cliche that's been beaten to death by every other shock jock out there. What's next? Who Let the Dogs Out? A deep dive into canine psychology. But in all seriousness, congratulations on 400 episodes. I may not have listened to a single one, but I can imagine the amount of dedication and hard work it takes to keep a podcast going for that long. Here's to hoping the next 400 are slightly less cringeworthy. Cheers.
6. Climb Mount Everest, 10 hours. 7. Descend Mount Everest, 5 hours. 8. Watch all 5 seasons of Babylon 5, 110 hours.
Dave, as we gather here to mourn the fact that you've created 400 episodes of What the Hell Were You Thinking, I realize that we've known each other for 15 years, and you haven't changed. You really should. You had the perfect chance when you had your midlife crisis a while back. Other men quit their corporate wage jobs to follow a dream and buy themselves a fancy sports car and a younger girlfriend. But you started a corporate wage job and bought yourself a record player. Instead of a younger girlfriend, you started collecting older vinyl, a hobby so boring people under the age of 30 don't know it exists. You know, kind of like your podcast. When you started the What the Hell podcast, I was initially excited to hear your takes on the hot-button social and political events of our time. But after listening to a few episodes, it felt like maybe you were doing this as an apology of some sort. Especially when you started veering off into topics like whether lizard people are real and whether or not you could make the Challenger disaster funny. Spoiler alert, not really. Honestly, Dave, your face isn't that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not good either. You have a great face for radio, so you picked the right medium. But after listening for a good year, I realized the reason you started podcasting was basically the same reason someone defecates on the side of a building. They were just so full of shit they had to let it out right where they were standing. No care about who's watching or what you're touching with your excrement. And drinking's usually involved. As your friend, I just have to stand there awkwardly, watching out to make sure you don't get in too much trouble, ready to deny any association with you and trying desperately not to glimpse any part of your dick. I mean, I don't need to see it to guess your podcast is an attempt at overcompensating for something. You really didn't have to go to such a heroic effort just to make up for being born, did you? I mean, speaking of heroic, let me take a moment to recognize the real heroes here. Your listeners, especially producer Gavin. Of course, you had to have a British producer. Gavin lends an aura of credibility to the show that's desperately needed, because otherwise it would just sound like the demented ravings of that one homeless dude that gets on the subway at 3rd Avenue and rides around all day till he shouts and mumbles himself to sleep. Which is what I use the show for, coincidentally, training myself to fall asleep under even the most obnoxious conditions. I admit, during COVID, I took a break from listening every week. I wasn't commuting to work anymore, and I usually listened to the new episode in the car. Plus, with Trump as president, I had already reached my quota for listening to someone spiraling into dementia weekly. Like many people, I went through a lot during the COVID years. Moving, divorce, moving again, this time to New York State to become your neighbor. It's funny, Seltzer Kings offered me a podcast contract as soon as I crossed the state line. I didn't realize those things came with your New York license registration. But I have self-esteem, so I turned them down. On a serious note though, Dave, you're one of the few people who always reaches out when I'm at my lowest, and I can't thank you enough for being that friend. 400 episodes of What the Hell is an amazing accomplishment. Here's hoping you have another 400 in you. You really should be proud, because we all know your parents won't be. Love, CJ.
9. Read the complete works of William Shakespeare, not excluding Timon of Athens and The Phoenix and the Turtle. 18 hours. 10. Listen to Wagner's complete Ring Cycle. 15 hours. 11. Descend to the bottom of the Mariana Trench from the Panamanian vessel Mermaid Sapphire aboard James Cameron's personal submarine, the Deep Sea Challenger. 3 hours.
When you decided to put 400 episodes worth of effort into one low-rated podcast, what the hell were you thinking?
When fans of the show are more fond of producer Gavin than the host of the show, what the hell is the host thinking? You should definitely have a Gavin-led episode with producer Dave.
Only kidding, of course. Much love, Dave. Congratulations on 400 episodes.
12. Crochet a sock. Also 3 hours.
This one's from Ben, as read by me, Gavin St. James. I don't listen to any podcasts, but if I did, I certainly wouldn't listen to yours. Just kidding, that was intentionally mean. You're actually the top of my list of ones I probably would listen to. You'd be wasting your time, Ben. Don't bother.
13. Visit every station in the New York City subway system. 22 hours minimum. 14. Fly from New York City to Dublin. 6 hours. 15. Take a Line 16 bus from Dublin Airport to the Old Jameson Distillery. 1 hour. 16. Tour the Old Jameson Distillery. 1 hour. 17. Make a leisurely return trip from Dublin to New York City by hot air balloon. 317 hours.
There are so many things that you can do 400 times that are not hollering hilariously into a microphone by yourself. It might involve 400 fingers of Jameson. You could roller skate 400 times in a row for 400 days. Who knows? But you know, as a white man in America, definitely 400 podcast episodes seems appropriate. But like, the 400 fingers of Jameson's probably a good idea as well. I personally think roller skating every single day for 400 days is kind of productive in a super unproductive way. But you can also be acerbically humorous into a microphone for 400 days. That seems fine. But only after having your 400 shots of Jameson, or whatever cheap liquor you got hanging around. Actually, is Jameson cheap? I don't even know if Jameson's cheap. Is 400 shots of Jameson a lot? Oh my god. What have I fueled? What have I done by listening? Oh no. Oh no.
18. Celebrate your return by roasting a 20-pound suckling pig. 5 hours. 19. Be crucified, die, be buried, and rise again from the dead. 72 hours.
This is a message from J.M. read by me, Gavin St. James. My dearest Diamond Dave, congratulations on 400 official episodes of your podcast. It's quite the momentous occasion. I would go so far as to call it breathtaking in the Seinfeld sense of the word, but I've got to ask, and I mean this with all the love in my heart, what the ever-loving fuck is wrong with you? 400 times, and you still haven't given up yet. There's an old saying, if at first you don't succeed, maybe failure's your style. Love them, keep them coming, even if I have no clue what the hell is motivating you. Love, JM. P.S. Seriously, what the chocolate-covered fuck is wrong with you?
20. Sleep a whole day away, sundown to sundown, on planet Earth. 24 hours. 21. Sleep a whole day away, sundown to sundown, on Jupiter. 10 hours. 22. Sleep a whole day away on Uranus. 17 hours. End of list. Clearly your time has been optimally spent. Well done, sir. As the ancient Romans would say, quod tempus sugit, et iam animam sugit, et ideo generaliter sugit. Meaning, what sucks time sucks the soul also, and therefore sucks in general. Congratulations, sir.
Oh god, this again? Great. Do I get 400 checks now instead of the 0? Producer my ass.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.